We're diving into a luxury shakeup so explosive it has TikTok detectives storming boutiques and billion-dollar CEOs eyeing the exit door. For decades, Louis Vuitton sold us a dream: supple leather stitched in quaint French ateliers, craftsmen perfecting seams under the soft glow of European heritage. But one viral factory video shattered that fantasy in less than 30 seconds. A Chinese worker, standing beside conveyor belts crammed with half-finished LV monograms, looked straight into the camera and said, "80% of your luxury bags?" They start right here. The clip spread faster than any runway reveal, and suddenly every scroll on TikTok displayed another Chinese supplier live streaming a fresh batch of European handbags. No middlemen, no secret markups, just factory gate prices and a direct challenge to the world's best-known luxury house. The numbers stunned even seasoned fashion insiders. According to whistleblowers from multiple plants, a classic Louis Vuitton tote costs roughly $15 in materials and labor. 15. Yet the final retail tag proudly screams $2,000 or more. Justified, we were told, by centuries of European craftsmanship. That math hit consumers like a counterfeit detector going berserk. Shoppers began walking into LV boutiques not to swipe cards, but to demand explanations. "Show me the French workshop," one clip recorded a customer saying as sales associates scrambled for headquarters-approved talking points. Why is this happening now? Part of the answer lies in a high-stakes trade standoff. When Washington slapped tariffs on Chinese imports, Beijing didn't just shrug, it pivoted. Rather than hide its role in global supply chains, China started spotlighting it. "You want transparency? Fine," one factory owner told a live stream audience of 50,000. "Here's the exact line that makes your favorite designer sneaker. Want it cheaper? Tap a buy." Overnight, smartphone screens became digital factory tours, and the luxury mystique evaporated like perfume on hot asphalt. Louis Vuitton's first response landed with a thud. A spokesperson insisted all products meet meticulous standards, and that the viral numbers were grossly misleading. What the statement didn't include was footage of a proudly humming French salon or an itemized cost sheet to disprove the $15 claim. In the information vacuum, suspicion flourished. Consumers began digging through care labels, noticing odd histories. "Made in Italy" tags attached after months in Asian transit, or leather trims stamped France while the main body arrived pre-assembled from Guangdong. As if that PR inferno weren't enough, the brand quietly nudged prices upward, 3 to 6% across bags, wallets, and even fragrances, without the courtesy of an advance notice. Hermès at least warned shoppers its 10% hike was coming May 1st. Louis Vuitton let customers discover the change at checkout. Videos of shocked shoppers went viral. "I bought this perfume last week for $280. Today, it's $320. Inflation or exploitation?" The timing looked less like supply chain management and more like opportunism, especially after whistleblowers revealed how cheaply the goods originate. Anger mutated into lawsuits. Both Louis Vuitton and Hermès filed multi-million-dollar complaints against several longtime Chinese partners. The allegation: trade secrets leaked, exclusive designs sold to black market vendors, counterfeit rings emboldened. Yet critics fired back. How secret can a production flow be if thousands of workers can film it on their lunch break? And why should customers trust brands that refuse to tour cameras through their official workshops, the way Ferrari shows its engines or Rolex flaunts its movements? The financial fallout arrived in brutal fashion. LVMH stock slid more than 7% after a sluggish first quarter report. Market analysts pinned part of the drop on the relentless TikTok expose storm. A single morning's correction shaved roughly $9 billion off Chairman Bernard Arnault's paper fortune. Rumors now swirl that the 76-year-old luxury titan, who once vowed to stay at the helm until 85, is reconsidering an early handoff. Better to exit before the next social media wave washes even more brand equity downstream. Inside luxury HQs from Paris to Milan, executives are holding emergency summits. Some argue for radical transparency, video tours of every approved facility, QR codes that trace a handbag's journey from tannery to boutique, real-time wage data to prove ethical practices. Others cling to the old playbook: protect the aura, litigate leaks, count on loyal clients to crave status over sourcing. Yet whispers from Chanel's corridors hint they too are bracing for price adjustments and potential backlash. The indestructible halo of European exclusivity suddenly looks, well, scuff-prone. Meanwhile, a counterculture is blooming. Influencers flaunt factory-direct designer dupes purchased legally from the very plants that stitch the originals. Hashtags like "real from source" and luxury, without labels, top millions of views. Younger shoppers, less brand-fixed than their parents, ask a blunt question. If the quality is identical and the origin is identical, why pay a 1,000% markup for a logo? It's a question luxury houses can't answer with heritage stories alone, not when global supply chains are one swipe away. Yet, not everyone is dropping their damier print. Some buyers admit they don't care if a bag is assembled on Mars, as long as it sports that iconic LV. Social psychologists call it the clout premium. The emotional payoff of recognition outweighs rational cost analysis. Brands bank on this. They gamble that outrage will plateau, memes will fade, and the desire to flex will override ethical doubt. Historically, they've been right. Think sweatshop scandals that barely dented sneaker sales, but trade insiders warn the ground has shifted. TikTok's viral speed plus a new appetite for authenticity could make this backlash stick. So, what happens next? If luxury labels embrace open ledgers, show where every stitch is made, pay living wages worldwide, and set fairer margins, they might convert crisis into credibility. Imagine scanning a QR code on a high-end tote and seeing the exact craftsman who cut the leather, the factory who stitched it, the carbon cost of shipping, and the reason a four-figure price supports artisans rather than ad budgets. Transparency could become the new hallmark of exclusivity. The alternative? Keep guarding the curtain, raise prices in silence, sue whistleblowers into intimidation, and pray customers value logos over facts. That route risks a slow leak of trust. Every new viral clip could carve another notch in a once untouchable aura until luxury becomes shorthand for label-taxed commodity. Right now, Louis Vuitton stands at the crossroads, clutching that famous monogram like a passport in turbulence. One path leads to humble disclosure and renewed respect. The other courts a meme-driven freefall that no lawsuit can halt. Which will they choose? Time and TikTok will tell. Your move? 55. And while you deliberate, viewers, we'd love to hear from you. Does country of origin change the way you see a luxury purchase, or is brand heritage still worth the splurge? Drop your take below, smash that subscribe button for real-time updates on fashion's identity crisis, and remember, next time you hold a $1,000 handbag, ask yourself, is it artistry I'm paying for, or just exceptional marketing? In 2025, the answer might be worth its weight in leather. Some industry analysts argue the reckoning won't stop at handbags. Luxury watches, cosmetics, even artisan sneakers could face identical scrutiny as live stream culture migrates from leather workshops to Swiss-branded dial rooms and Italian tanneries. The U.S. Customs database already lists dozens of high-end labels quietly petitioning for tariff exemptions on China-sourced components, a paper trail that contradicts glossy campaigns about all European manufacturing. At the same time, Beijing appears willing, eager even, to fan the flame. State-aligned outlets now spotlight viral factory tours as proof of China's indispensable role in global value chains, a subtle reminder that Western prestige still rests on Eastern labor. If that messaging sticks, prestige goods may never regain their old aura, because every new product launch invites a counterpost of assembly line footage. Retail consultants predict a rapid divergence in consumer behavior. One faction, call them brand loyalists, will lean harder into the fantasy, treating escalating prices as proof of exclusivity rather than evidence of margin padding. For them, scarcity plus a well-lit flagship store are still magic. But another faction is emerging, label-agnostic pragmatists who crave quality without the theatrics. They're happy to buy a sister factory tote at 1/10 the price if its materials and workmanship match the original. TikTok storefronts now let a buyer watch her bag sewn in real time, add engraving for free, and receive doorstep delivery before a Paris boutique even restocks. That immediacy, mixed with transparency, could permanently siphon off the next generation of shoppers who once saved for a single Holy Grail logo purchase. Governments are taking note. European regulators, already wary of greenwashing, are drafting guidelines that would require luxury houses to disclose not just carbon footprints, but country of origin percentages for every major component. In Washington, a bipartisan caucus is floating a bill mandating truth in labeling for goods above a certain retail value, essentially outlawing the practice of finishing a bag in France, stitching on a tag, and declaring it 100% European. If such laws pass, brands will face a choice: comply and risk eroding mystique, or fight in court and look like they have something to hide. Either route is costly, but the second also bleeds public goodwill. Inside LVMH, sources say a task force is modeling worst-case scenarios, an influencer-led boycott, a forced factory audit that reveals labor cost disparities, even a consumer fraud class action in U.S. courts. One contingency memo reportedly proposes a radical pivot: embrace the global atelier narrative, celebrate Chinese craftsmanship as proudly as French, and tie price to design innovation rather than birthplace. That would upend a century of marketing orthodoxy, but defenders argue survival may demand it. After all, Rolls-Royce advertises German-made electronics